Hello, good day. So for this video, we are going to have some exercises about quadratic equation. So to start, let us try to review first the definition, or how do we define quadratic equation. So remember that quadratic equation has the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are called the coefficients of our quadratic equation. Now, basically, there are different ways to solve for the roots of our quadratic equation. So we can have it by extracting the square root, by factoring, by completing the square, and by using the quadratic formula. So in this entire video, we are going to make use of the single equation 6x squared minus 13x minus 5 is equal to 0. And then for this video also, we will not include the extracting the square root because that is not applicable in this particular equation. So we are only gonna show how to get the roots using factoring, completing the square, and quadratic formula. So to start, we'll have the factoring method. Now, here are the steps when we are using or utilizing the factoring method. The first is we are going to identify our a, b, and c. So I always make it a habit that when I am solving quadratic equation, I will write down my a, b, and c. So for me, that will come very handy as we progress with our solution. So our a is 6, our b is negative 13, and our c is a negative 5. Now, step number 2 is we are going to multiply a and c. So again, our a is 6, our c is negative 5. So therefore, negative 6 times negative 5 will give us 30. After that one, we are going to look for the factors of AC, or the factors of negative 30 that add up to B. So again, we are going to find the factors of negative 30 that when added will give us B, which is again a negative 13. So again, what are the factors of negative 30? So to make this video short, let's try negative 15 and 2 directly. So negative 15 times 2 will give us negative 30. And then negative 15 plus 2 will give us negative 13. So these are the factors that we are looking. Now, using this factor, we are going to rewrite negative 13x as negative 15 plus 2x. Notice that when you add negative 15x plus 2x, it will only give you negative 13x. So basically, we don't really change the equation. We just rewrite it in a way that, again, negative 13x is a sum of two numbers, which is negative 15x plus 2x. Now, after doing this one is we are going to group our expression. So we have here the first group, and then we have now the second group. Now, I want us to notice that in our first group, 6x squared minus 15x, we can actually find a common factor, which is 3x. So if we are going to factor out 3x, what will remain from 6x squared is just 2x. What will remain from negative 5x is just negative 5. And then, if you notice also, we have now a common factor of 2x minus 5. So what we are going to do, again, if we have common factor, is we are going to factor that one out. So we are going to factor out 2x minus 5, and then we remove, or we factor out 2x minus 5 here. What happened? We only have 3x, right? And then we copy the operation plus, and remember that there is actually a 1 here, right? There's a 1. So basically, when we factor out 2x minus 5, what is left is actually 1. So therefore, we have 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now, these are now the factors of 6x squared minus 13x minus 5. What we can do now is solve for our x. So we'll have 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. Then again, this will become 2x is equal to 5. And then solve for x, divide everything by 2. We'll have x is equal to 5 over 2. So this will be our first x value. Remember, we are dealing with quadratic equation, so we are to expect that we will always have um, two values of our x. All right. Now let's try to solve for the next 0 or roots. So we have 3x plus 1 is equal to 0, and again this will become 3x is equal to negative 1, and then solve for x, we have x is equal to negative 1/3. So therefore, the values of our roots is actually this 2. We have negative 13, no, negative 1/3, and then we have positive 5 over 2. So as we solve for the quadratic roots using the different methods, we should expect that we will always end up with these two values, 5 over 2 and negative 1/3. So again, this is for the factoring. Next, we'll have the completing the square method. So again, how do we complete the square? Step number 1. As always, we're going to identify our A, B, and C. But when we use the completing the square, it is very important that our A here should be equal to 1. If you notice in our equation, A is 6, right? So how can we make this 6 as 1? So to do that, to make a number equal to 1 is just simply divide it by itself. So we are going to divide the entire equation by 6. Again, the sole purpose of that one is to make our A equal to 1. So when we divide this entire equation by 6, this is what will happen. 6x squared divided by 6 is just x squared. Negative 13x divided by 6 is negative 13x over 6. And then negative 5 divided by 6 is equal to negative 5 over 6. And as always, 0 divided by any number is just 0. So this is now our new equation. Now, what to do next? This is now the time that we are going to identify our A, B, and C. So again, using our new equation, our A is 1, our B is a negative 13 over 6, and our C is negative 5 over 6. Now, using the new B value, which is negative 13 over 6, we are going to solve or find B over 2. So what is B over 2? B over 2 is just equal to negative 13 over 6 divided by 2, or simply negative 13 over 12. Alright? So why is it that it is equal to negative 13 over 12? Remember, when you divide fractions, what you are doing actually is you are to get the reciprocal of the negative 6, get the reciprocal of the divisor, and then proceed to multiplication. So this is just 1 over 2. And then again, we have negative 13 over 12. Next thing to do is we are going to find b squared over, no, b over 2 squared. So we are just going to simply square this number, negative 13 over 12, and that will give us 169 over 144. Now, I want us to remember these two values, b over 2 and then b over 2 squared. Because later, we are going to make use of these values as we complete the square or to solve our quadratic roots. So again, our b over 2 is negative 13 over 12. Our b over 2 squared is equal to 169 over 144. Now, to complete the square, again, this is our new equation, right? When we divide everything by 6, what we are going to do here is we are going to add the value of b over 2 squared to our equation. And again, remember that is just equal to 169 over 144. So again, this is our new equation. I just move the constant to the left side of the equation. And then again, we are going to add 169 over 144. So this is what will happen. So we have x squared minus 13 over 6x plus 169 plus 144 is equal to 5 over 6. Then again, add 169 over 144. And then, I want us to notice that this entire expression is now a perfect square trinomial. It is again a direct consequence, automatic, that when we complete the square, this will become a perfect square trinomial. And since this is a perfect square trinomial, we are going to express this one or to simplify this one. Remember our b over 2 earlier? We will make use of this one to express this perfect square trinomial. So what will happen is we are going to write x, and then whatever is the value of our b over 2, we will um, insert after x. So we have x, the value of um, the value of b over 2 is actually negative 13 over 12. So we have x minus 13 over 12 squared. Now, if we apply the FOIL method to this expression, you will end up with the same expression. Alright? And then again, 5 over 6, I just express 5 over 6 as 120 over 44. If you are wondering why it is now 120 over 44, I just find the greatest common multiple of 6 and 144. Again, to make the denominator the same. Or, if you have your scientific calculator, you can actually directly input 5 over 6 plus 169 plus 144, and that will give you actually 289 over 144. Now, at this moment, we can actually see here that our left side is in squared. So, what we are going to do is we are going to apply the extracting the square root method. So, what will happen is the quantity of x minus 13 over 12 squared and then 289 over 144, we are going to subtract the square root of those numbers. So this will be cancelled out, the 2 will be cancelled out, and then what will happen or what will remain is just x minus 13 over 12 is equal to plus minus the square root of 289 is 17, the square root of 144 is just 12. So again, we have plus minus 17 over 12. And then, we are going to isolate x to the left side of the equation. Negative 13 over 12 will become um, positive 13 over 12 plus minus 17 over 2. And then solve for x. X sub 1, if this is negative 17 over 12, our x sub 1 will become 13 over 12 minus 17 over 12, and then this is just equal to 13 minus 17 is just negative 4 over 12, or simply negative 1/3. And then the second value of our x will be 13 over 12 plus 17 over 12. That will give us 30 over 12, or simply 5 over 2. As you can see here, we actually end up with the same value as earlier. So we have x is equal to negative 1/3, and then the other one is 5 over 2. Alright, so again, we are done with the factoring, we are done with the completing the square, and so far, we are arriving at the same answer. That means to say that, again, our solution is correct. So let's move to the last method, which is the quadratic formula. Sorry, quadratic formula. What happened to my tongue there? So again, um, quadratic formula. So we are to expect again that when we use the quadratic formula, we will end up with negative 1/3 and 5 over 2. So the quadratic formula is simply this one. Alright, so we have x is equal to negative of b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So again, we are going to identify our a, b, and c. Our a again is 6, our b is negative 13, and our c is a negative 5. After identifying our a, b, and c, we will now proceed to substitution. So we are going to substitute our b. A is negative 13, so we have negative of negative 13 plus minus the square root of. Again, our b is negative 13, so we have negative 13 squared minus 4a, our a is 6, and our c is a negative 5 over 2a, or 2 times 6. Now, we will just simplify things. Negative times negative will give you a positive. So, negative of negative 13 is just 13 positive. Negative 13 squared is 169 plus negative 4 times 6 is negative 24 times negative 5 is positive 20. And then 2 times 6 is just 12. We will simplify further. 169 plus 120 will give you 289. And then, extract the square root of 289, you will get a positive or negative 17. And the same with what we did earlier, if this is negative 17, uh, if this is positive 17, we will have 13 plus 17 over 12 is equal to 30 over 12, or 5 over 2. And then if that is negative 17, we will have 13 minus 17 over 12 is equal to negative 4 over 12, or simply negative 1/3. So as you can see here, we actually have again the same values of our x. So again, that is how to make use or to find the quadratic roots using the factoring, completing the square, and the quadratic formula. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.